we have a great show lined up for you today. First, we wanted to introduce our internet media. So, Holly.
Yeah, you can find us at portlandsportsbeat.com, and that is our website where we have uploads of shows, interviews, live footage of games, areas that you can vote for what you want to see coming up. So be sure to visit us there. And then we also have a Facebook, so facebook.com/portlandsportsbeat, and a Twitter, which I don't feel comfortable talking about Twitter.
Oh, that may not be a good show for you. At PDX SportsBeat is our Twitter handle. We've been going out to a lot of games lately and updating scores, and you get all the updates for our website whenever we upload videos, so you can see all the latest news, highlights from games. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on, so make sure you watch us on those internet media social sites. So lots of stuff going on. We've got a great show for you today. A little bit of a change tonight on some of the content that we have. We're going to have a little discussion a little bit later. It's something that kind of I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It's somewhat sports related, but it's a little bit more social related. So that'll be an interesting. We got some people in the studio that we're going to be talking to about that. So that'll be a little teaser for that. We also went out to the University of Portland and saw the UNLV game last night. So we're going to have that game coming up next, or coming up a little bit later. We're going to have highlights of that. Jesuit and North Salem, we were out at the game, and that was a really good game. Jesuit has a very good team. We missed one of the better players in the state for North Salem. He ended up he had some grade issues, so he wasn't able to play. And then we were out at Park Rose yesterday as well. It was a very, very busy day yesterday. We were out at Park Rose. We talked with some of the players out there, and we talked with our coach, DeLove. So we'll have an interview that we had with her a little bit later. And actually in studio right now, we have the ladies from Gladstone High School soccer team, the state champion, 3-time state champion Gladstone Gladiators. How you doing, ladies?
Great.
So why don't we start with you, Amber? Why don't you introduce yourselves and maybe what position you played?
I am Amber Jensen. I'm number 19, and I play forward.
I'm Maddi Cronin. I'm number 8, and I'm defensive center mid.
I'm Taylor Plunkett, and I'm number 6, and I play center defender.
So 3 out of 4 years, you guys won a state championship. That's a pretty good feat. Amber, why don't you start out with talk a little bit about what that means to have that kind of record, and to have a program where you're perennial state. In the state every year and always looking to win a championship.
Well, it means a lot. Oh God. It felt really good to do it.
It's your question.
You guys can help out.
Yeah, you guys.
We're not exclusive here.
What it means to us?
Yeah, what does it mean to you to have 3 state championships?
Well, you come in as a freshman, you have this idea that I'm going to be playing JV my whole year. I'm never going to get a swing up. And then all 3 of us started on varsity. And then each playoff game, you get one step closer and one step closer and one step closer. And then when you're finally there, it's oh my God, this is amazing. And to get there 3 times and to win it 3 times, it's like you just climbed Mount Everest and you're on the top. It feels really good.
I like that analogy. That's awesome. Yeah.
What about for you, Taylor?
It's almost unreal to think that we went out our freshman year and won it the first time in Gladstone history, and then we lost sophomore year to Mazama, who we then got revenge this year, which was one of the more painful defeats that we've ever had, and it's one of the most the greatest accomplishments that we've had.
So this year, you guys lost only 1 game this year, and it was to not Mazama. It was to Scappoose, who you guys played in the semifinals. You guys had just a great year. Walk us through kind of what were your expectations at the beginning of the year?
Oh God, I did not think that we were going to do that good, to be honest, because we lost 5 key players. I wasn't.
It was
positive.
Basically all of our midfield too.
Yeah.
We were going into the season oh my gosh, who are we going to bring up from this team that is going to be able to fill these starters positions? And so at the beginning of the season, I think all of us we never really expressed it, but we were deep down, we'd come home from practice, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And then like that first game, like, you know, it was shaky, and the next game was shaky, but it was better. We just grew as a team and like just progressively got better, and we pulled through.
Talk about one of the players, or a couple of those players who actually stepped up this year. That you talked a little about players that had to step up. Talk about a couple of those that did.
Riley Webster, she basically played JV all her freshman year. She's a sophomore this year. And our coach Steve Thomas pulled her up for the playoffs. I think she got in maybe like 15 accumulative minutes throughout the whole playoffs. And she is starting varsity this year, and she played offensive center mid. She got second team all league, like stepped up. One of the players we lost was our offensive center mid, just played amazing. One of our wingers, Kendall Shoemaker, and her twin sister Julia, they were amazing. Just stepped up, took their position on, and went out there and did their job.
I know being on the back line, we see a lot, and I know me and my other center defender, Michaela Simak, were nervous seeing like we lost the middle of the field, and then Maddi stepped up, completely deserving first team all league, defensive player of the year. Like, she was the reason that we didn't have to work very hard on the back line. Like, without her, we wouldn't have been where we were on the defensive line.
That's awesome. I feel like you guys all kind of give credit to someone else, which says a lot about your team, that you guys really play well together and appreciate, the various degrees of strength you have out there at different positions. So that's nice. And then what did you see in terms of the transition from the first practices where you were going home with a sense of dread, and like explain that progression a little bit, or when you started to maybe think we have a chance, or things are really pulling together?
I think it changed for us after we tied Malala 1-1, which was completely bitter for us because they scored on us and they're our rivals, and we got a goal in to tie it. But I think that was one of the biggest momentum changes we had at practice and our focus level. Yeah, we like to goof off. We're one of the more silly teams, but that definitely hit us hard, knowing that we tied our rivals and we've never tied them before, and we just knew that we had to start working if we wanted to get to the finals.
I think, building off what Taylor said, tying Malala, seeing the reaction on their face when they had tied us, they were reacting like they had just won the state championships, and I think that really grinded our gears, and we're like, I don't ever want to see a team act like that, because it looked, they were acting like they had won and we had tied, and it's really frustrating to see, it's gonna sound really conceited, but we don't lose. It's just not in our mindset. So to see them acting like they had won, and we were acting like we had lost because the tie is basically a loss for us. It was really frustrating. So that's when we were like, okay, we need to focus. This is not gonna happen again.
So you guys only gave up 4 goals this year. Defensively, what was your guys' strategy, or how were you guys able to accomplish? 4 goals in full season. That's a pretty good.
I think basically we just we kind of tell ourselves, and Steve tells us this, they can't make a goal if they don't have a shot on frame. So I think starting with our offense with Amber and our forward Kelsey Hathaway, we make sure we get the ball up to them so they can do their job, and they make sure that they get back on defense to help us do our job, and only scoring 4 goals, one of which was an own goal. Our keepers do really rigorous goalie workouts. They practice, our practice are 3 hours. They do maybe an hour and a half strictly ball work, saving the ball. And our defenders, they just we have a saying, when in doubt, kick it out. So if we think it's gonna get scary in there, we just kick it out, and we usually try to kick it far away to run the clock down, but so everyone can get back. But yeah, we just try not to let him even get close to that.
So don't really want to take the time to let people play around in your defense.
No.
Yeah.
We have this thing where we're always doubling the ball, always putting pressure on the ball, and you make them look down and they're gonna make a mistake. It was one of the defensive biggest things is put pressure, they're gonna make a mistake. And so our biggest thing was communicating with everyone to make sure go to the ball and we have your support, make them make a mistake.
Leadership of this team, you're all seniors here. is that something that kind of comes natural to you, or is that something that you guys have worked on through your 4 years of high school and you kind of learned from someone who was before you?
Well, I think that freshman year, nobody really liked us. Well, all the captains didn't because we kind of tried to control everybody. So each year we got like, I guess,
We
more
just like
control.
we like to be in charge.
Yeah, I think it is a natural thing. Like I specifically remember the class above us. We would intentionally like get on their nerves. Like we would do stuff at practice just to try to like get at them, like like push their buttons because we kind of like being like that control thing. So I think being a captain, like being able to like lead our team, I guess you could call it. I think it is a natural thing for all of us.
You had finally wielded power.
Yeah,
exactly, and
You don't have
we
to fight
started at an
anymore.
early age, freshman.
Okay. Well,
So, talk a little bit about the game. Mazama, you guys had it ended up being a 1-0 or 1-0 game. And actually, Taylor, you had the goal in that game. And I think we have the video from it, and we'll get that ready, and we'll go to that here in a minute. But talk about your mindset going into that game. It's your third championship game. Was it different than your first two, or were you still getting the same kind of butterflies you did in the first two?
I know for the defense that the night before when our coach is telling us that it's not going to be a 1-0 game and that we're going to get scored on, I know for the defense it really got on our nerves because we don't get scored on, and we're very like, we hold that to a high standard for us. Like we know, like we're known as some of the best defense in the state. And so for the defensive line, we were going out with the mindset like they're not going to score on us. We're going to remain the best defense in the state. And it was, we knew we had revenge on this team, and we were coming almost in as an underdog towards them because they knew that they've beaten us before. And we had all this revenge in sophomore year, and we were ready.
is that the one game that you guys were waiting to play, kind of the entire season?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
we had lost them our sophomore year in double overtime with like maybe like a minute or two on the clock still. So like it was just, like the worst loss we've ever experienced. And then so like coming to this game, like I think everyone was like kind of like antsy. I don't think the freshmen like they're like, oh, this is like a game. Like I don't think freshmen really get how big of a deal it is. But like I know me, Taylor, and Amber, like especially, we were like, okay, we have to go in and win. It's Mazama. We've lost them. This is like, we were thinking like it's gonna be our last game, like no matter what the score is. So why make your last game a loss? Like we just went out with the mindset like we have to go out there and leave it all on the field.
So I think we've got that clip ready, but why don't you, before we go to the clip, Taylor, why don't you walk us through kind of, it was a free kick,
Yeah.
so kind of set up of what happened, and then we'll watch it, and then we can talk about it afterwards.
Well, typically I take the free kicks because I do the goal kicks. So I go up to a certain point, and then after a certain point, Amber takes them because we have set plays, and she's just a part of the set play. And so I ran up to go take the kick, and I kind of like look at my coach, and he was getting on me about not taking the shot because I can kick it far enough, and he's like, you need to take that shot, you need to take it because I haven't taken one all year. And so I just kind of looked at him, and he like nodded at me. So I knew like I just shoot towards the goal as hard as I can, and just.
All
Because
right.
even if you were gonna miss, it'd land up on
Yeah.
one of our players'
'Cause I knew
feet.
it's like it went off the post or she blocked it down. I knew Amber and Riley and Kelsey and all of them were ready to go.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that video.
Looking free kick here with a minute left. Two-man wall for Mazama. And this looks like a shot on goal, and it's in. That is Taylor Plunkett with a 35-yard free kick, and she just snuggled it right in to that top left corner. And she gives Gladstone the 1-0 lead here a minute before halftime.
All right, so you snuggled it in there for a goal.
That's probably the worst verb he could have used for a 35-yard shot like that.
Just like
It's not a snuggle.
makes it sound like she like wrapped it up in blankets.
Yeah.
Like, there you go.
So after you made the goal, obviously you're very excited, but it's still early in the match. Talk about what it was to, the excitement and then to recover from that and to continue to play and get a shutout to get the victory.
Okay, so Taylor scored with maybe 30, 40 seconds left. Yeah. And so when we went over to the corner flag at halftime, we're like, okay, guys, they're gonna come out like a ton of bricks. We just scored on them. Like, they're obviously gonna be very angry. And I remember like when we set up on the center circle, like, cause I think it was their kickoff. I remember like all the defenders like, okay, guys, you need to like charge the ball. Like, don't let it get to their half. And I think once we scored, it was like a light switch. Like, I think we all watched the game the next day on OSAA. And when you watch the second half, it's amazing how much the ball was controlled by us. And it was always in their defensive half. Like, they maybe had like 4 breakaways, which was unbelievable because they basically controlled the whole entire first half of the game. And just like come out and like kind of like give it to them, you know? Like, just like stop them. Like, I think maybe had like 2 shots on goal. Yeah.
I don't think they had any.
Did you notice, like you said, you thought they would come out like a ton of bricks. Did you notice that level of intensity, or did they not even get a chance because you were controlling the ball the whole second half?
I don't think that they even got a chance.
Yeah,
We
maybe
definitely
like the
outplayed
few
them,
chances they got, you could tell that they were, you know, like really like they wanted it too, but they didn't really have that
It
many
got to the point
opportunities.
where we were like completely passing around them, and like for the defenders, like we would just like kind of take our time and pass the ball on the forward,
Wait
or
for,
just
like,
kind
the
of like
last
jog
possible
towards
minute.
us, and like you can just tell that like all their motivation and like was just dying out of them, and it was a good feeling because the first half they were passing around us, making us look stupid, and the second half we come out, we're passing around them, and they almost couldn't keep up with us.
All right, so 3 championships. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
We are going to transition a little bit here. We have some you 3 ladies played basketball last year for Gladstone, and we wanted to. You guys aren't playing this year, but we wanted to maybe get a little bit of a preview for some basketball this year, some 4A basketball in your league. So maybe you guys can talk about what Gladstone, Amber, maybe you can start out kind of what Gladstone has this year as far as players, and then maybe we'll talk about a couple other teams in the league.
Okay, they have Molly Webster returning as a guard, I believe.
I think that's what she's
Yeah, I
playing.
think so.
Nicole Peterson as the point guard, and Elisa Bradshaw as a post. Those are 3 key players that played a lot last year. And, well, Molly did and Elisa did. And Nicole was on JV, swung, I think. I'm not really
I
sure.
don't really remember.
I don't remember. So that's definitely going to help the team. But besides that, I'm not really sure what else we have.
I think a big thing, like, we got a new coach this year.
Yeah.
And our other coach, like, I don't really think she, like, flowed with us. Like, I know especially when me, Taylor, and Amber played, like, we've been playing together since, like, 7th grade. And we have this thing where, like, Taylor would pass it to me, and I would pass it all the way down the court to Amber, and Amber would do a layup. Like, that was our offense. Like, and I don't think the team's ever caught on. Like, 7th, 8th grade, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, that's what we did. And when we got into high school, our coach, like, she was more like, okay, let's just dribble the ball up and, like, try to pass around, and we want to drive to the hoop. She didn't really like our fast break thing. And so with the new coach this year, I think he's more open to, like, listening to, like, I think he's more about winning, and, like, he just kind of wants to, like, okay, if you guys are a fast break team, we'll do fast breaks. If you guys set up on offense, we'll set up on offense. We haven't been to any of the practice. I don't think any of us have ever met him.
Mm-mm.
But I understand the girls really like him. The parents really like him. I think it's going to be a really good. They're going to be successful this year. They just need to go do it.
All right, so a couple of the other teams, you know, Malala. Do you know much about the Malala team? And you know they're your rivals, so.
The only thing we know that is one of their better players, Claire Thomas, also is not playing this year.
Oh. Okay.
And so we don't really know much about them, except she's not playing.
LaSalle, they're
always
they're
pretty
basically always good. So I think our team is really gonna they're gonna butt heads with them. Madras, they have I think she's a sophomore, and I know us 3 played against her like 2 years ago when she was like, I think she was like in 8th grade, and like we're like, where did this girl come from? She is so good. She's like ran us into the ground, and so she's gonna be their point guard this year. They just graduated a girl who's going to some college in Nevada, but I don't think they're gonna skip a beat. She's going to
Mexico.
New Mexico.
what did I say?
Nevada.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
And then North Marion, they still have their point guard. I think her name's Jasmine. And I think they still have some really tall posts. And I think the team this year for us is going to be a little like vertically challenged. I don't think we have that many tall girls. I think we have one Just
No,
like
2. We got a new player.
I know that's what
She's
it's
not
counting.
that good.
But
Elisa.
okay. But yeah, it's gonna be a struggle for them. I think it is every year. But I think if they play their game and don't like try to just like if they don't come out with a strategy trying to beat them, they just come out like playing Black Gladstone basketball. I think they'll be okay.
So all 3 of you are not playing basketball. I know, Amber, you're having some surgery on your foot. You played the whole year with a torn ligament, is that correct? Torn tendon?
Ligaments, yeah.
Certain ligaments, yeah. So you probably weren't going to be playing basketball either way. But is that something that is that more of a decision based on like your past experiences, or is that something that you guys are like looking forward to college and things after high school?
Me, I know it's like I still really love basketball, but I just this year, like especially this part of the school year, I have my advanced near English class, which is like an AP college course, and I have AP calculus, and we're both in the calculus class, and it's our last period of the day. So
We're both in English too.
yeah, and so when we like if we had an away game, we would miss it, and that's just not a class you can miss. And so our teacher has said in our syllabus we got if we miss more than 10 days, we automatically forfeit our A. And I'm assuming we're gonna have more than 10 away games. So that's not something I wanna like do. Like I really wanna focus on school and get into the college that I want to, so.
So talking about college, Amber, I know that you're, have you signed your letter with PSU, or have you just let them know?
No, I just committed. We signed in February.
In February, okay. So why don't we start with you, Amber, and why don't we talk about kind of what your plans are after high school?
Well, I plan to attend Portland State and major in criminal justice. That's about it.
Are you be playing soccer?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna be playing soccer too. Forgot.
So what is this surgery going to entail for you? Do you know exactly or what they predict recovery or anything like that?
Not really, no.
And is it just an overuse injury? Was there a specific incident that caused it, or
No, I just like sprained my ankle a bunch, and so that's basically what did it.
fix it up?
Yeah.
All right. Maddi, what about you? Where are you planning on going to school, or where would you like to be going?
I've applied to 4 colleges. I've applied to Seattle University, OSU, U of P, and San Diego State. And I don't really care which one I go to because they're all schools I like. Otherwise, I wouldn't have applied. But I want to major in environmental engineering or civil engineering.
And are you planning on playing?
I was going to. I was like, yeah, I want to play, and then I changed my mind, and then I changed it back. So I'm still trying to get back into it and tell the coaches I want to play and stuff. But we'll see.
What about you, Taylor?
I plan on going to U of O and major in physical therapy. And I've talked to the athletic director about soccer, and so we're kind of on the starting steps of that. So that's my plan, is to play soccer there.
Got to sport the Ducks,
Exactly.
Ducks clothing there.
No, you would.
Okay, so we're going to do a little transition here. We're going to go to, we went out to Jesuit earlier in the week, and they were playing North Salem, and we got some highlights from the game. So Ryan, if we have that ready to go, we're going to watch the highlights from the Jesuit North Salem game.
Opening night for the boys hoops in Oregon. The 2012 defending state champions from Jesuit are playing host to the Vikings of North Salem. North Salem is playing without standout LJ Westbrook, who is out with an injury. Jesuit senior guard Keon Rayner slashes his way inside and finishes. Jesuit senior guard Keon Rayner slashes his way inside and finishes with the right hand. Malik Leaks initiates the offense, passes it over to Justin Lowe. Lowe with a little dribble hesitation goes in, scoops, and he scores. Leaks again from the top of the key. Little dribble penetration. This time he finds Miguel Quevedo for 2. This time it's the Jesuit defense getting involved. A couple of stops down low. Keon Rayner gets the rebound, gets out on the break, finds Daniel Nelson on the nice pass, finishes it up for 2. But Malik Leaks does not like to be outdone. He gets out on the break, goes a little showtime, and finds Derek Lowe for the basket. And some more Leaks, crossover, step back. Hits the jumper. Oh, with a defender right there on him. Then it's some great defense by Keon Rayner. Steals the ball off the inbound. Hustles down, gets the ball. Finds Connor Lee, and he finishes. And we can't forget about the big guys down low. Jack Niederhofer gets the rebound, goes back up strong, and is fouled on the putback attempt. The inbound play for Jesuit. Ball is inbounded. Swung around, and then just like you draw it up, the defender goes above. And Keon Rayner hits the 3. Then we got more defense by Nadelhofer as he asked, "Are we playing at Jesuit?" "Yeah, because not in my house." And then he follows it up with a little bit of offense. Ball gets swung around. Pinned down screen. He comes up to the top of the key and hits the open 3-pointer. I caught up with Keon Rayner after the game to talk about the victory.
PJ Miller here with Portland SportsBeat. I'm here with Keon Rayner from Jesuit after they defeated North Salem tonight. 27 points, big first game for you guys. Talk a little bit about what you were expecting coming out. Talk a little bit about what you were expecting coming out tonight for your first game.
It was really a mystery. We were missing 6 kids off our original varsity lineup. So I've been through football and various other things. So I was just, it was a little interesting just to see how we were gonna produce a lot of younger kids. And we kind of, I don't want to say lucked out, but with LJ not being there tonight, I definitely would have been a closer game. And that stretch there where they caught up in the second definitely would have made it a closer game for the long run. But without their best player for the last couple of years, it's kind of rough for them to come back, and they're really just adjusting to that. This is their first game back without him, so I can see. I mean, we played well, but I think against a different team, the game might have gone a little bit differently.
Coming back this year, it's your senior year. Talk a little bit about the leadership you've had to take in as far as this team and with other guys being out.
I don't think really it's changed much from last year. Last year was a great year for me. Despite having 4 seniors on the team, I was kind of the leader. I was the captain last year, co-captain along with Xavier Coleman on our team, and even sophomore year, just being the starting point guard. It was just that coaches really prepped me for this moment, being my senior year and all. And I think that the leadership role is nothing new from the last couple of years. So, and I attribute that to my coach.
Tonight, you guys ended up pulling away in the second half, led primarily by you with your 27 points. Talk a little bit about the game and kind of how the flow of the game went for you.
First quarter, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was a little bit nervous. I think our team was just wanted to get out there, kind of start playing. We've been practicing for a while, fall league, all that. But, I mean, it's different when you get out in this type of setting. So, I mean, I felt like I started out the game well. Second quarter kind of got younger team. We got a young team. We were kind of just taking shots we shouldn't have. They kind of went on a stretch there, and we were shooting really quick, and just really, our inexperience came out right there in the second quarter. And then I think the third quarter, coach, we came in at halftime. Coach just said that try to get me the ball a little bit more. Because I felt like I could knock down some shots. The ones that I was taking, I was knocking down, and I just felt like that second quarter was kind of rough for me. But I felt like after that, when I was knocking down some shots and then kind of getting other people involved and stuff, I felt like our team kind of fed off that, and we kind of just blew them out from there.
So after tonight, does your expectations for the seasons change at all, or is it hard to tell?
My expectations are the same as it was before the beginning of the game. It was nice to get this victory, but at the same time, I mean, they didn't have their best player. We had six of our players. I mean, 3 of our starters are out right now. It's not. I mean, it's way too hard to tell, and especially, I mean, it's such a mystery around the state too. Kind of just who everyone has. I mean, I kind of know the players here and there, but at the same time, I don't know how teams and coaches are going to prepare for us and prepare. I mean, just for around the state. So.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Portland Sports Beat. That was Jesuit versus North Salem. It was a really great game. Keon Rayner, he had 27 points. And then I think it was yesterday, I believe it was against Milwaukee, he had 30. So definitely one of the players to watch this year out in Jesuit. And I think we're going to be trying to do a game. Jefferson and Jesuit are playing next Tuesday. So we're going to be trying to go out there and either get some highlights or maybe do a live stream from the game. So if you follow us on Twitter at PDX SportsBeat, you'll find out either we'll have highlights or we'll have the game on there. So one of the great high school matchups. Yep. And one of the other games that we got highlights from, this is a little bit different than things that we've done in the past, was University of Portland. They were playing 18th ranked UNLV yesterday. So we were out at the game. It was a really good game. Mike Moser, who is a Grant grad, was kind of one of the reasons that we wanted to go out there. He's plays for UNLV. He transferred from UCLA. And unfortunately, he was injured, so he didn't play. But it was a great game. The crowd out at University of Portland, the Pilots, was really good. They were really active. It was a really good game. So Portland did a really good job. So we'll go ahead and cue up the University of Portland clip.
The Portland Pilots were playing host to the 18th ranked Runnin' Rebels of UNLV out at the Child Center last night. A loud contingent of students helped as Portland came out strong behind Ryan Nicholas. Nicholas hits a jumper there. Next possession, Nicholas throws the oop to Corey Thickel. It's broken up, but Riley Barker is there to slam it home. That put Portland up 20-12. Then UNLV made a run as Anthony Marshall slams it home. Portland led 28-22 at the half. Second half action, Kevin Bailey with a little up and under move to put Portland up by 4. UNLV takes the lead on this jam by Quintrell Thomas. But Portland comes storming back as David Carr steals a pass, then hits the open 3. Next possession for the Rebels. A quick shot by Marshall. Carr then finds big man Thomas Vandemars running the court, and he flushes it home. UNLV quickly strikes back as Justin Hawkins hits back-to-back three-pointers. Nicholas and Vandemars both hit a couple of late shots, but it wasn't enough as UNLV defeats the Pilots 68-60. Nicholas led the Pilots with 15 points. He also had 19 rebounds and 16 assists. I caught up with Ryan after the game, and he talked about what they will take away from a game like this.
We can look on film and really see what went wrong technically on a couple of plays because our effort was there all night. And when your effort's there, you can really, fine-tune some things that, with a game like that, it was just a couple little things that could have gone the other way that didn't, and we can take away that we can play with anyone. We just showed that.
All right, that was University of Portland playing UNLV over at the Child Center. Like I said before, it was a great game. The crowd was really enthusiastic. They got if you guys have been out to a game there, it's been, the crowd out there is really good. And they only have one senior on the team. and so they're looking pretty good for a nice run out at University of Portland. So something to keep an eye on. It's me and Ryan, who's one of the other producers, we were talking about it, and it's one of the great tickets that you can get in Portland. It's great basketball. They play high-profile teams. They play Gonzaga. They played UNLV. They're actually be playing Kentucky, I believe, on Saturday. So a lot of great games for University of Portland, and the tickets are actually pretty reasonable. So one of those things to go out and take a look at.
Good show. I think your broadcasting is getting better too.
Yeah.
Like your play-by-play, I like that.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. One of the things that we had kind of talked about in the intro was like championships and kind of where that takes you. When you have a team that maybe hasn't won a lot of championships, we are doing some stuff with Park Rose, and their school hasn't really done a lot in athletics, and they went to the playoffs for the first time last year. And then you have schools that like Gladstone, who football-wise, you know, you guys have been to the playoffs quite a few times. Soccer-wise, you guys do really good. Basketball-wise, you guys do really good. So talk about the feeling inside the community and schools that kind of helps bring out that athletic ability in you guys, or the support that you guys get from that.
Okay, well, I think soccer, everyone, like, they know we're going to be good each year, so they, like, okay, well, they just kind of, like, get behind us, and they're all, like, there, like, all of our games, like, we have, like, a student section, it's completely packed, kids are there all the time screaming for us, cheering for us. Football games, I think a lot of people just come to socialize mostly, but they're there for supporting the boys when they made it to the quarterfinals. They had so many kids there supporting them. I think there was more fans crying than football players when the game was over. We were almost just as devastated as they were. Our track team, everyone's, like, we had our final, I guess you could call it. Can't think of what it's called at Hayward Field at U of O.
State championship.
Yeah. And we had kids, I think we had like 30 plus kids drive all the way down to Eugene to come watch, you know, our handful of girls compete. So Gladstone, it's a small community, everyone knows everybody. And so we're mostly all friends. So everyone kind of comes down and supports everyone.
So inside the school, Taylor, you have a brother who plays football.
Yeah.
Talk about the relationship between, like, say, the football players and the soccer players. I know you said something about you guys had an assembly a little bit earlier. So
I'm gonna straight up say this. I think some of the football boys can be bitter towards us. Like, I know, like it's. I've heard them say it that they're bitter. Like some of them didn't want to come to our game after they lost, but it's just we went to their game after we lost sophomore year. Like, it's. For the most part, we're all really close. Having a brother in high school with me and a brother soon to be in high school, I know a lot of people. I'm close. I have family other than just my brothers, and it's nice going to support other people and all your friends, no matter like what sport it is. It's just fun to go and watch.
Yeah, you talked about Gladstone and the community that is. It's very small, very tight knit. I used to live in Gladstone, so I kind of know what it's like. That small town feel, it almost feels like you are like one of those teams from like Southern Oregon or Eastern Oregon, where, you know, they always have those signs from the South, like last one to leave, turn out the lights, where the community just comes out and supports you guys. And I've noticed that like a lot of the businesses come out and support you guys, and that seems to that's got to really help, because then you guys can concentrate on basketball. You guys don't have to do fundraisers and do a lot of those other kind of things. So it's really great to have that support of the community, isn't it?
Yeah. It's nice because during soccer season we had a pink out night for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and not just the team got into it, our crowd got into it, our fans. It's just like, it just really showed that like how small of a community can just come together and just like, no matter differences, like we can just come together and do what we need to do.
Can you explain what pink out night entails?
Well, for the game, for warm up, we had bright pink shirts that we wore, and we had pink tape on our socks and pink hair ribbon, and we had war paint on, and so that's what we wore during our warm up in our game. And our fans showed up in pink, and a bunch of the guys like borrowed our shirts, and so they all had pink shirts, and everyone just likes to support, and it's a good feeling.
So you always hear about the places like that where like people kind of grow up, but we talked about it a little bit earlier. We have a place like Park Rose that doesn't have that tradition, and there's a coach there, DeLove Woods, who we were actually out and we interviewed, and she's trying to change a program to get it to somewhere where it's something like what Gladstone has. So right now we have our interview with DeLove, and we're gonna play that. Here with DeLove Woods, head coach girls basketball at Park Rose High School. One of the things that as I've been talking to the girls, they talk a lot about motivation and communication. Talk about what is that key for you? Why is that a key for you?
I have an unorthodox way of communicating with the kids. I'm a big kid, so I try to communicate with them in their language so that they understand me a little bit more, and it helps me to motivate them a little bit better because they're able to relate to me like, okay, I get what coach is saying. So I kind of use a little bit of humor, sarcasm with them, so it's not just mundane motivation and the same stuff all the time.
The girls really seem to gravitate towards you and seem to listen to you, and talking with them, they look up to you. As a coach, what does that mean for you to have that kind of influence on these younger players?
Man, it's really humbling. Like, it's an honor, it's an honor for them to look up to me and respect me the way that they do. I think a lot of it is I come from a similar background as a lot of them. And, I grew up here in Portland. I played basketball, played college, played professionally. So for them, they're trying to get to that level. So they're like, okay, listen to coach, and we can follow in the footsteps, and this is something where we can end up, actually it can be a reality. So.
Talk a little bit about your defensive philosophy. A lot of the girls talked about defense, and that seemed to be one of the key points that you were hammering home this beginning part of the year. So talk about your defensive strategy.
I'm really big on pressuring the ball. I really focus on defense with the girls because a lot of them are so gifted on the offensive end, it really doesn't matter. So for me, I'm big on pressuring the ball, communicating, trusting your teammates. And again, it's like I got to hammer the same things in with the girls every single day in terms of the way we rotate, being on a string, playing together. So I focus most of our practices primarily on defense. Like, we go over very little offense. Today was one of the days where we had a lot more focus on offense, but for me, it's big for us to be able to be successful defensively. Like everybody always says, defense wins championships.
Expectations this year were probably a little bit higher than they were maybe when you started out last year.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those expectations, and are those more internal, or do you feel a lot of external pressure now?
I came in, there was no expectation really. The program wasn't successful in the past at all. So for me, it was like coming in like, okay, we got a clean slate. However I want to come in, I can come in. I came in the first day, I told the girls, we can win a state championship here. And they believed it. We made it to state last year, played Springfield, lost to them. But they saw it now. It's actual reality. We can make it that far. We had the best record in school history. So for them, it was like, okay, this is real. We can do this. So this year, that's our goal. Get to state. And we have a chance to win if we get there. They really understand that now. So for me, the expectations are internal. It's not really external. I told the girls this year, as far as we're concerned, people could say that was a fluke last year. So we have to come back and prove ourselves again this year. But I have high expectations for the kids. I know the type of character they have and the type of players we have on our team.
You lost probably one of your best players last year, the very first game. How do you transition from that, where you lose that player, you play a whole year, she's coming back this year? How do you transition to integrate her back into the team now?
Man, it's no problem. Cheyenne's such a gifted basketball player that you throw her in with anybody, she's going to be able to be successful. And it was great, actually, at the end result to look back and not have Cheyenne, because it helped grow a lot of our other players and made them have to step up and understand where they fit in with our team. So this year, I think that will help us be more successful because she doesn't have to carry the bulk of the weight on her shoulders herself this year. Audrey can step in and dominate. That's why I'm hoping from her to really dominate inside. And then Jesuit as well had to take over the ball handling responsibilities and a lot of our perimeter scoring. So I think, Cheyenne coming back is nothing but a bonus. We can't lose.
Communication for the girls. You talked a lot during practice about communicating with each other. They're a pretty close-knit group of girls, those senior girls are. How do you get them to communicate better with each other?
It's funny, man. They talk all the time outside of the basketball court, man. Texting. I'm like, you guys text constantly, talk on the phone constantly. We get on the court, we don't have anything to say to each other. So it's trying to get them to transfer that communication and the relationships that they have off the court and bring it more on the court so that we have better communication defensively and offensively. So just trying to get them to transition and feel more comfortable. Some of them are a little bit intimidated. We do a lot of talking from the sidelines, but you know, like Coach said, we're not always going to be able to be that voice, and so we're looking for them to step up more, communicate more as a group.
Long term, where do you see the growth of this Park Rose past this year? What is your goals for the long-term success of Park Rose High School?
Really just building a solid program where we're getting girls turning out every year, you know, getting like 30 kids or so, and just trying to fill every program at every level, and just, you know, player development. We're really big on that. Our first hour of practice, we spend just on fundamentals and player development, and then second half of practice, we get into our team stuff. So we just want to grow everybody individually and, you know, see where we can go from there.
During practice, one of the players, you had a funny comment. They were talking about you stopped in the middle of practice, someone had done something, or actually had failed to do something, and he's like, you always know what I'm going to say, you always like to mock me. You seem like you have a really good sense of humor, and these girls really relate to that. How do you use that to your advantage?
I mean, like you said, we got a funny group of kids. Cheyenne, every day, she always walks in and she imitates me every single day. Like, she has my mannerisms and everything down, my tone of voice, my speech. She's great at imitating me. And so a lot of times they know what I'm thinking, but it's just up to them to actually process that thought. So when I stop them in place like today, Cheyenne knows what I'm thinking, what I'm going to say. So I just want to see her imitate me, because it's funny because they always think I get on them. I'm pretty tough on them. So I like to use humor whenever I can lighten the mood so they're not like, man, Coach is always honest. So I give them an opportunity to get on themselves sometimes. So for Cheyenne, that was, here you go, take a second, and I'm going to let you get on yourself. I'm not even going to say anything. So, I mean, she took light to that. They know how I am.
Yeah. The girls, and you know, talking to them, they seem to like to have a lot of fun. They were talking about doing some beatboxing on the bus, and talking about some people like to cook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is your relationship off the court with these girls? How does that help the on-court cohesion?
And we have a great relationship off the court. They're like my little sisters, you know. So I talk to them about whatever they need to talk to, you know, hang out with them. I give them hugs every day. I make sure, you know, I walk up, shake everybody's hand. How you doing? And so for me, it's just keeping it lively. You know, we got a real family type environment where everybody's comfortable with saying whatever we want to say. Nobody has any hard feelings around here. If you have something you need to get off your chest, it's just really a comfortable, free environment, and we have a lot of respect for each other. So at the end of the day, it works out well for us all.
Talk about a couple of the girls and kind of what, maybe some of your leaders, and kind of what your expectations is for them.
You know, I really look to Cheyenne and Jasha to just funnel our team in the right direction. They've got great basketball skills, and the one thing I talk to them about every day is their leadership skills. In the school, they're great. Everybody likes them. They look up to them, role models, and then we get on the basketball court and they shy up a little bit. So I just, you know, always talk to them about carry your personality into the basketball court, and I try to lead by example when I do that. When I come in here and coach, I'm the same person on the court as I am away from the court, and they know that and they see that in me. So I just try to have them be honest with themselves when they're on the court and be that natural leader that they are.
All right, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on. We'll be catching up with you later on in the year, I'm sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
PJ, that was a great interview with DeLev Woods at Park Rose High School. She sounded like a lot of fun. The practices sound fun. I kind of want to go watch one.
Yeah, she said that was actually one of the best practices that they had. She said they probably felt a little bit of pressure of having cameras there. But the girls, they have a group of seniors probably similar to the way that you girls are. We got a good chuckle in the studio when they talked about how you guys like to communicate and text and do everything, and then you get on the court or on the field and all the communication stops.
Yeah.
Is that the same way it is for you guys?
Yeah, it is, because like when we're around each other, like we went on a beach trip together, like Team Bonding in August, and you could not get us to shut up. And, like, parents are like, okay guys, can you just like please be quiet, like we're trying to go to sleep. And we're like, it's only like 10 o'clock, let's go, come on. It's like another 5 hours. And then like at school, we're always talking, we're always like communicating to each other, and then when we got on the field, it's like you can hear like a pin drop. Like, we are so quiet, and nobody knows why. How we've always been.
But now, Maddi, when you say you're talking all the time, it's not always verbal communication. I mean, half the time you guys are like maybe sitting on different ends of what, like a bus or something, like texting each other,
we
right?
can be sitting next to each other, having a conversation. Me and Amber can be texting each other, and then like like IMing each other on Facebook and then like, tweeting at each other, like like Snapchatting. It doesn't end. Like
Okay, so I don't even know what that means.
Snapchat. It's an app you can get for your phone, and you can like take a picture, and you can like you have like a certain like character limit, and you can send like little emojicons, and then like you can like choose how long you want it to send it for, and then like you like hold down and look at it, and then the picture goes away. So like you can like, I know like some of us we like make like really ugly faces and like try to make our friends laugh, and if you send it for like 1 second, because like on iPhones you can screenshot it. And so if you send it for like 1 second, they get like one really good glimpse of it, and then it's gone. So sometimes it's a competition to see who can make that.
Actually self-destructs, like
yeah.
James Bond style.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I just heard something about that on NPR this morning.
Oh, okay.
DJ, those graphics will be ready to talk over whenever you're ready.
Okay. So I like where this conversation is going, but we're going to do a quick. We're going to go into some games of this week. So we're going to let everybody kind of know what to be looking for. Friday we have, if we can get those graphics back up there. Friday we have boys basketball, Jefferson versus Southridge at Grant High School, and that is part of the Grant High School tournament. And De La Salle is at Grant, which is part of that same tournament. Hudson's Bay is at Benson on Friday as well, and that's at 7:30. And Park Rose is at the Dalles at 7:15, and that's the girls basketball. So DeLove and the girls will be out at the Dalles. They lost their first game, but they were playing. They were missing a couple players, some injuries, and they had some academic issues. But sounds like they're going to be at full strength for that game. So it should be a good game out there. On Saturday, University of Portland's going to be playing at Kentucky. That'll be a good one to watch. That's at 9 a.m., so we'll get up early for that one. The second round of the Grant tournament will be Saturday afternoon, and then the OPSL semifinals at Buckham Field. That will be at 8 p.m. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Ryan will be playing in that game. So that may be, if you would like to see our distinguished host, Ryan Johnson, he will be out at the field to see that. On Monday, 12:10, Terrence Ross is going to be in town playing the Blazers. He plays for the Toronto Raptors, so at 7 p.m. Against the Blazers. On Tuesday, boys basketball, Jefferson at Jesuit, 7:15 p.m. And we will be out at that game. We're going to try to live stream it. So that may be something to look for. If not, we will definitely be out at the game. You can find us on Twitter at PDX SportsBeat, and we'll be giving updates throughout the game there. And boys basketball, if we get that graphic one more time, it's Central Catholic High School at Benson, 7:30 on Tuesday. So those are some of the games to watch for this week. There's some great high school games out there, some college games to watch. So make sure that you support the local athletes in the area. Kind of getting back to what we were talking about before we took that little break, one of the things that's kind of intriguing to me is kind of how, I grew up in an area where, I remember Zach Morris, and he had the big brick cell phone. And, times they haven't changed. I graduated in 1999. We had pagers, and, cell phones were kind of becoming, people had them in high school, like my senior year. So it was definitely different. We played Snake on it. We didn't have, Monopoly and other crazy games on it. So things are kind of changing, and I just kind of wonder, we talked about social media, we talked about Twitter a little bit, and I just kind of wonder how does Twitter fit into your life? How does social media fit into your life? So Amber, why don't we start with you? You guys have followed me, the show on Twitter, and I tweet out on that a lot, and so I've ended up following a lot of the people who follow me. So I kind of watch people's Twitter, just kind of see what's going on, get updates on like how stuff's going. So Amber, what do you use Twitter for?
To vent my feelings.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
Very true.
I don't know. I just talk on there. I just say whatever I feel like I should say. I don't know.
Do you like having that like unfiltered access to be able to talk to people?
Yeah, and my parents can't see because I block them, so I can't say whatever I want to. So.
Do you ever worry about your kind of online presence and maybe certain things you said in the past during a moment of emotion if you're expressing yourself?
Definitely, but I have deleted those, so hopefully nobody saw them that shouldn't.
Or screenshotted them.
Yeah.
So for those of us that are still new to this whole cell phone thing, explain how Twitter works. Like, do you start out with just tons of followers? Do you get on there and just like spend 4 hours like picking everyone you want to follow in the world, or?
You can, like, so like you sign up and you have like your screen and you don't have any tweets, you don't have any followers, you aren't following anyone. So you can like search your friends, and you can either search their username if you know it, or just their name, and then you can follow them. And then on your news feed or your Twitter feed, it just shows everyone's tweets that you're following. And then you can make your own tweets. And it's not like Facebook where like you like make a status and then, you know, everyone uses Facebook to get all these likes because that's what you have to do. On Twitter, it's more like, man, I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then it's just what you're thinking. Like, you don't have to like,
hungry.
yeah. And then, so yeah, it's a lot different. Like, I'm following like the U.S. Women's National Team so I can like know what they're doing. But then at the same time, I also follow my friends because I want to know what they're doing. Like I don't think I'm gonna friend the U.S. Women's National Team on Facebook because they're just gonna like post pictures, but like that doesn't tell me what they're doing.
So you don't want to hear, when you want to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you don't want to hear what anyone thinks about that, or will people respond to you?
Well, if you like tweet that, then someone could retweet it if they want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich also. But if you post that on Facebook, they're gonna be like, why are they telling me what they want to eat? They should be like making a status about some inspirational quote that relates to my life so I can like it. Or like some really cute picture of her and her best friend because we want those likes. Like Twitter, it's like you can just be like, wow, I had a really crappy day. And then, because everyone else had a crappy day, they can retweet or favorite it. And then, I don't know. It's like a lot different than Facebook because Facebook, I feel like everyone goes on there to like try to like get popular. And then Twitter's like, you don't really care. It's just like, it's like a pot for all your thoughts.
And parents have completely occupied Facebook, so.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an escape, yeah.
So is Facebook like the uncool thing now?
Yeah. It's basically Twitter and Instagram now.
Yeah. And Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat.
Okay, it looks like we are about done. I want to say thank you, girls, to your 3-time defending state champions, Gladstone, or not 3 times, 3 times in 4 years, champions, the Gladstone Gladiators of Gladstone High School. Thank you very much for coming on, and good luck to you in the future.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And do you guys want to give out your Twitter handles real quick? Or no?
I'm at Cronin Madison.
I'm at Plunkett Taylor 6.
I don't know.
She's
All right,
at Jensen Amber.
So you can
She's
search
really
them out
interesting.
you can search them out on Twitter if you want to follow them.
Sure to visit us on Twitter as
yeah,
well.
and you can visit us at PDX SportsBeat, and I think we're all friends or Twitter friends.
Followers.
Yeah, so if you want to find them, you can follow us, and you can see you can find them on there. And you can also find us at PortlandSportsBeat.com, Facebook.com/PortlandSportsBeat. Thank you very much for coming on, and have a great day, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.